Something I chat a lot about on my channel is how we can bring things into our wardrobe with intention that will have true longevity so that you can make the most out of your seasonal wardrobe budget, buying things you'll reach for again and again, rather than items that end up being a bit of a flash in the pan. And I thought this would make a really interesting video to talk through the trends that I believe will last versus the ones that won't. And I am excited to be filming this in partnership with LILYSILK, a brand that to me really embodies that timeless style. And they're currently running a limited time anniversary sale, so you can get up to 25% off your order. I'll have those details on screen. The very first trend I don't think will last are low slung jeans or micro minis. Both of these silhouettes lean heavily on that Y2K trend, which has been around since last year, but to me feel like styles that are really buzzy on runways, great for an editorial look, but are not that practical for day-to-day life, nor do they suit everyone. And of course there are always exceptions, but they don't feel overly practical. Ultra short minis or even those little hot pants, those are things that not many people are actually wearing. And the low-rise denim, if you've lived through the 2000s, and you'll know what a true low-rise is, barely any zipper, they to me are just not a silhouette that is going to work for everybody. And when I consider the most timeless trends, quite often they are really inclusive. They're styles that anybody could wear regardless of their shape or size or their proportions. And neither of those items really take that into account, which is why to me it feels like nothing more than a fleeting trend. Contrast that back against a trend that I think will always last, well-cut tailoring, items that feel like they are made for you, that really kind of hug and skim the curves of your body and just kind of elevate at the same time. For me, I'm often thinking about details like a blazer, but it could be a really beautiful pair of trousers, and it doesn't always have to be in a crisp or kind of more rigid structured fabrication. And I did want to mention and highlight a couple of my LILYSILK pieces here, which you'll see me styling in the cutaways, starting off with this silk tank. This is a mulberry silk and nylon blend, and I love that it's machine washable. It's really soft and of course has that silky hand feel, and I love the ribbed texture. It also has this lovely seam detail, which I find is incredibly flattering as it draws the eye inwards. And I have styled that back with a pair of silk trousers from LILYSILK. I really adore these trousers because they are really thick. They're made from a 32mm double-faced silk, and they have the elasticated waistband for comfort. It's gathered too, which contributes to that beautiful drape, and I love the way that these just gently puddle around the ankle as well. I do recommend sizing down in these trousers as they are a little bit more generously cut if you prefer something to fit a little bit higher on the waist. To me, these are pieces that adapt seamlessly for the different areas of your life and where fit is the primary focus rather than relying on a trend to dictate what we add into our wardrobe. And I think that's one of the things I really love about LILYSILK, is that they design with longevity in mind. All of the pieces I have here, which are featured throughout, are the types of designs that feel just at home in my wardrobe today as they would have 5 years ago. And that's really what I want to be bringing into my wardrobe. I don't want to buy something just so I can feel like I'm part of the fashion zeitgeist. Instead, I want to be buying style that is enduring. And of course, this definitely leans into the idea of buying less and buying better, because LILYSILK always uses really beautiful, high quality materials, natural fibers, and pieces that are made to last, but also to live with you. So I do have those two discount codes. There is JL20, which is 20% off regardless of your minimum spend, or alternatively, you can use JL25, which will get you 25% off with a minimum spend. I'll have that detail on screen. You have until the 18th of September to shop the sale, so a great opportunity to add some high quality staples into your wardrobe that will last a really long time. The next trend that won't last, one season colors. You know exactly what these are because everyone on social media starts talking about them. At the moment, it is butter yellow and baby pink. And the reality is that yes, while this can feel like a fresh update to your closet, it's not going to feel like forever. It might feel like now, but in a year's time, it's going to feel very then. And therein lies that really valuable piece of information that you can apply to any purchase you're thinking about adding to your wardrobe. While an item might feel current now, if you think about it through that lens, how are you going to feel about it in a year's time? Will it feel passé, or will it still feel like it's one with the times? What will last when it comes to color are neutral foundations, and neutrals do not have to mean black, white, and gray. They can kind of run the spectrum. They can be so much more dimensional than that and really really interesting and intriguing depending on your coloring. I personally tend to like kind of off creams, slightly more muted, mucky colors that you can barely describe. At least you need multiple words in order to kind of give it a description, but of course all the classics. So cream, grays, navies, and camels. I feel like those are never going to date and can always be a strong starting point when building out your color palette. And this little stretch baby tee from LILYSILK, I think kind of leans into that, and that beautiful creamy color. It's not stark. It actually feels like it's got a little bit of warmth to it, which is a great base to build off of. And you wouldn't believe that it's 100% silk because it has a bit of stretch to it. It's so lightweight, the most beautiful drape, but in a lovely neutral color that forms a great groundwork for any outfit. Overly viral aesthetics. I really can't wait for the day that these stop dominating my TikTok feed. Think ballet core, the mob wife trend, tomato girl, coastal grandmother. I mean, those are just a handful, and there have been so many more. And my issue with these is that they really require you to go out and buy very specific items in order to participate in what are micro trends. These tend to be over and done with in the space of a week or two. It really has a fast trajectory, and once that moment has passed, those items feel incredibly dated and out of place in your wardrobe because they aren't aligned with your usual style. And a great question to ask yourself is, if I wear this piece, does that dictate the style of my outfit, or does it align with my style and complement it? Because the former will never have great harmony with the items in your wardrobe. What will always feel timeless though are refined accessories. And while I feel like recently there's been a little bit of a shift towards chunkier, bolder jewelry choices, the ones that will endure are going to be the ones that are a bit quieter. They're a little bit more softly spoken and they don't shout at you. They kind of just relax, melt into the background, almost as though they're one with the canvas, the palette that they have been drawn onto. Because these details are more discreet, they tend to have that enduring quality that you know will last in your wardrobe. Unlike a pair of hyped up sneakers that are, again, they're going to be a flash in the pan. In a year's time, it's going to be on to the next. And this is something I've really noticed with shoes in particular. Just think about Adidas Sambas. People are already asking, what are we wearing instead of Sambas? Why not just wear a pair of sneakers that you love? And so what I'm seeking out are styles that feel true to me, because timeless to me might look a little bit different to timeless to you, but shoe silhouettes that I know I can lean on and have been reaching for years, decades. Details that I seem to lean on as a bit of a crutch to kind of help lift my outfits, like a really solid belt or even just a lovely watch to bring that adornment to the wrist. These instantly elevate, but they also feel like they're part of your style and they're not really fighting against it. They're kind of just harmonizing and adding that lovely complementary touch. A trend that definitely won't last, logo heavy dressing. And I have to admit, I'm pretty relieved to see that there's been a bit of a shift away from this. I find that when there's a really loud logo, it's kind of shouting at you. It's very ostentatious. It's really kind of bold and it kind of screams, look at me. And maybe this is just a personal thing, as I tend to prefer outfits that are more softly spoken. And the thing I've noticed watching so many of these fashion cycles is that those logo heavy pieces tend to date so quickly, particularly when it reaches saturation point. You have to consider something like the Gucci belt, which kind of has that big GG logo buckle at the waist, and at one point lots of people were wearing big Gucci branded t-shirts as well. And I'd say it was maybe 6 to 12 months before the pendulum shifted and another brand was the brand du jour, and the Gucci tees, all of a sudden they felt like there was something that you put to the back of your wardrobe in favor of whatever was new. What was next? Of course, silk and natural fibers are absolutely never going to date, and this is something you will never ever regret adding into your wardrobe. I think for a start, when we're wearing silk or natural fibers, they have a really lovely drape to them, and there's also the quality that they are going to have that endurance and they're going to wear better over time. So you know you can wash your natural fiber pieces and they'll still look great after a few laundry cycles, whereas your synthetic pieces may not hold up quite so well. Definitely where I feel like LILYSILK shines. And I did want to highlight another really beautiful piece, which is their machine washable maxi skirt. This is made from 100% merino wool, so it has this lovely knitted quality to it, and it's something that I personally would be wearing at home in place of a track pant, because the style of it being a maxi feels really refined and elegant, but it has all the comfort of a pair of trackies, which I love. And I did also want to highlight this beautiful baby cashmere polo. You could be enticed to buy something like an acrylic polo sweater because of the price, but let me tell you, you will regret it, because cheap quality knitwear, it's always going to pill and it's going to distort, it's going to wear so quickly. A few times in the washing machine it'll look dreadful, whereas something like this that's in a natural fiber, you'll be able to have it for years and years, decades even. It's something that, like I said before, you'll never regret spending your money on, whereas the synthetics you probably will. The next trend that will not last are exaggerated silhouettes. And listen, I love playing with a bit of drama in my outfits. I think it can be a fun way to update our style and just explore, experiment a little bit. But if you are being really mindful about how you spend your budget, these are going to be one of the things that date the quickest. Really sculptural elements might feel of the moment right now, but I think you'll find that once that moment passes, it will end up feeling like something that is just taking up space in your wardrobe. I think the other thing to consider here is that the drama of these sculptural exaggerated pieces rarely translates in real life, and that can make them incredibly difficult to style on a more practical level. And I think it's why, even though I'm drawn to those items, when I do bring them into my wardrobe, they're some of the least worn pieces in my closet because I don't have the application for them. Your lifestyle might be different, in which case maybe you are wearing them a lot, but I'd say for most people, the reality is probably going to be quite similar to mine. A trend that will always last is effortless knitwear. And I feel like every season there's a must-have knit to add to your wardrobe, and you can never ever go wrong with the classics. Something like a really solid cardigan. I especially like that this one has a bit more length through the body because it gives you a few different ways that you can style it, but it also just has the beautiful little pearl buttons too. I mean, stunning. But even just layering your knitwear, so layering one knit piece over another, I think can be a really fun way to play with dimension in an outfit. And this is a great way to participate in a trend, but in a way that isn't going to feel passe, because you're still wearing those items as you traditionally would, but you're just thinking about how you can style them differently to be part of the fashion movement. And the great thing about pieces like this is that you also have the opportunity to kind of introduce some little subtle design shifts so that you can customize the way that you're wearing them. And that's a great way to also participate in trends without fully committing to items that don't feel like you, or that are going to feel old or tired in a really short space of time. So there you have it, style trends I don't think will last versus the ones that to me feel like they will be ever enduring. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that also you got some styling ideas from the cutaways. Please let me know any other trends that you feel will last versus won't down in the comments below. Don't forget that you can save at LILYSILK for their anniversary sale using my code, either JL20 for 20% off or JL25 for 25% off with a minimum spend. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and you'd like more styling advice, brand reviews, and how to make the most out of your wardrobe. And I will see you next time with a brand new video. See you soon. Bye.